What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jacked Ramsays Pregame Show. I'm your host, Danny Marang. I am going to try not to pass out because I feel like utter trash. Who doesn't feel like utter trash, I would imagine, is Brandon Sprague. Brandon Sprague, how you doing, buddy?
I wouldn't say utter trash. One, you don't have COVID, do you? Am I
No.
going to get COVID from this?
I'll pull it back a little bit. I've been fighting something for actually quite a long time, for almost a year now. It's
Herpes?
Yeah. I wish it was that because then it wouldn't give me what I have to deal with right now. I'm actually holding on to the desk because the room is spinning so much. I've got this thing called BPPV, and basically the crystals in my ear get loose, and my equilibrium goes to utter hell. And I am
You like a vertigo situation?
Yes. And it's like somebody straps me to a tilt-a-whirl and says, go. So I am doped up right now. So if you see my eyes wandering a little bit, that's entirely why.
I'm going to assume it's a hot take on the comment section.
Yeah. So Connor Strong coming in strong. 0-41 on the road this year.
0-41. Let's do it, baby. Dare to dream. Record-setting NBA records. No, but I'd say about 40 minutes ago, my entire right side of my face was numbed. I'm just getting out of the numbing.
Did you go to the dentist?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had a good strain or something.
No, I had I guess a filling was popping out. I had those silver fillings, so they replaced.
So you don't know what they did? You just know that they just did things?
I grew up hating the dentist.
Oh, gotcha.
And if they're like, hey, we need to do this and this,
just like gone.
Do what you need to do. I don't even care. I don't ask questions. Just get it done. Whatever it is, get it done.
Oh, that tracks. Everybody's saying, I hope you feel better. Me too. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Is there medicine for your condition?
There's a couple things. Like what I'm taking right now is meclizine, which is like anti-nausea medicine, which slows it down. I came home and the physical therapy stuff, like they've been scraping my legs. So for anybody else who wants like a little bit more insight on how awful things have been for me the last 24 hours, if you haven't had a full like muscle scraping where they take the ceramic thing with the KY jelly and scrape your muscles down to the bone, it is a very, very fun and just terrifyingly painful experience when they do it for over an hour. And I'm doing that multiple times a week right now to try to get my leg reset. So cool.
I tell you what, I'll do you a favor. I'll listen to my new advisor, Dr. Joe Rogan. I'll see what he advises for medicine on this condition.
I don't know if the ivermectin will help, but
let's deworm this son of a bitch.
Listen, I am open to try things at this point in time. I like if somebody came to me, I am prime for snake oil right now. I will tell you that right now. That dude rolling up from out of town with a cart would get me to buy whatever he had at that point. Hey, it might work.
Get the TB12 method. I don't know. It's run by a snake oil salesman.
Listen, man, TB12 probably also has some HGH, so let's not get it twisted. The man looks younger now than he did at 18. First of all, thanks to everybody who came in. This is the Jacked Ramsays Pregame Show, obviously presented by Blue Wire. That is the Blue Wire Podcast Network, who lets me do amazing things. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. We are trending upwards where it looks like we're probably going to hit our goal of 2,000 by Thanksgiving. I can't go much higher. But it looks like it's going to happen because everybody's awesome. So
people are great, man.
Yeah. Cooper Ching, just use my Twitch Prime sub for y'all. Not much, but trying to show some love. Dude. Listen, we appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you. Just so anybody knows, anybody who does donate on top of the extra stuff, it gets donated. So Brandon and I keep the YouTube tube money, but as far as like anything you guys donate, I've taken slice that stuff off. Brandon, news to you. I donate all that.
I was waiting for you to say I donated all to the bank account.
Yes, but no, I've been giving that stuff off the top to a couple different charities. So Blazers play the Suns tonight, rematch. For those that aren't aware, the game where the Blazers beat the ever living hell out of the Suns, their best performance of the season, hands down. Part of the reason why I was downer, Danny, that night was the Suns were playing on a back-to-back where they gave all of their effort to the Laker game on national TV the night before. They were playing their third game in 4 nights. That is not going to be the case. The Blazers are the ones coming off the back-to-back. They will not have the rest advantage. However, the Suns will not have Deandre Ayton or Dario Saric. Last I checked,
Landry Shamit's not playing either.
Is he confirmed now?
I saw that was Shamit, Saric, and Ayton.
Okay. So when I looked earlier, I thought I saw his name on the injury list. Because Shamet was listed as doubtful. I hadn't seen an update yet. So I know that they've been kind of playing with that a little bit. Obviously, no Deandre Ayton is something that they're going to have to struggle through. But here's the thing about that, Sprague. That means JaVale McGee's probably going to start here. And as weird as it is, JaVale McGee has bothered Jusuf Nurkic his entire career just because of his length, his balance, everything else kind of goes along with it. What are you looking at with Ayton out? Is this a Nurkic shine game? Because the last time a really good big was out for a team we expected Jusuf Nurkic to shine, he disappeared and folded like a lawn chair against the 76ers with no Embiid.
I mean, I think it's natural to miss the starting center of the opposing team. Plays pretty well against you and say, all right, now your big guy has to step up in that moment and take advantage of that team. But as you mentioned with JaVale McGee, it's going to be really difficult. I'm not really going to put a whole much on Nurk. I mean, obviously, I want to see him carry over what he did yesterday into tonight and at least be a consistent contributor for what they are. I'm actually more looking at the perimeter guys because now you have a reason to attack. You can get JaVale McGee in foul trouble. You can get Frank Kaminsky in foul trouble. You can really deplete their depth at the big position, and you have the guys that are able to do that. Right now, it's a struggle. If Damian Lillard's going to keep playing, and we all kind of agree that he's really going through it, he's not going to be able to make his shots. I think what we've seen so far, he's had little bursts where he can hit, and then he goes cold. He's better suited to kind of either attack and kick, attack, create, and I think guys like him, CJ, Norm, like Ant, this should be a night. Nas, like, go be aggressive tonight and try to put them in difficult positions, mess up the rotations.
We're going to get into the leave it here in a little bit, but I kind of want to tease it in the sense of the starters played a metric truckload of minutes last night. CJ, Dame, and Cove, to be specific. Norm played a pretty heavy minutes load, but he didn't go into the, tipping the 40 scales. So with that, I look at Ant, I look at Nas, I look at Larry Nance Jr., who played 9 whole minutes.
That had to have pissed him off, right?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he was feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. Robert Covington should not be playing 38 minutes. And again, I think we'll talk about this here in a few minutes as far as like living up to those promises and stuff. But I think this is a good opportunity for the young legs to show out tonight. Let starters, CJ get a bounce back game. Nurk continue good play. Norm continue setting the tone to start games. And then Ant have a bounce back shooting night. He has had 2 subpar shooting nights so far this season, besides last night. So that was number 3. And he has bounced back from each one of those games and had a monster night on the back end. So let's hope that trend continues, and that'll be something for him. Nasir Little, I think he played 23. I'm sorry, played 23 minutes last night, and then Cody had 16 and Nance 9. So nobody really getting a heavy dose of minutes off the bench last night.
Wait, did you say Nas played 23? I thought Nas played 16.
I'm sorry, yes.
And Ant played 23,
Ant played
right?
23, Nas played 16. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Again, my brain's a little scrambled right now.
No worries, dude. This is the other thing. I was wondering this last night, and I'd mentioned this in the post, and I know it's kind of something to look forward to for this game. I thought that was really that was kind of odd to me, how much he was playing the starting unit versus like how much he limited some of those bench guys. Because I think for the most part, I've liked what Chauncey's been doing. He's had a couple rotations where I'm like, oh, I like it. No, I don't like that. The
stuffing the Snell lineup in there was a little bit weird last game, and I liked the group of the Cove Dame mixed with the bench, but that seemed to kind of cut Nance out a little bit.
And I was going to say, so that was the big thing that I noticed for his minutes dropping to 9. That reason was because Rocco stayed out there with the bench unit and Lance didn't come in. So and it was odd because I think he is really, the bench has kind of saved his team 4 or 5 times at least this year. So
absolutely.
I thought that was weird to do in a winnable game. You were, it was a back and forth battle there to kind of the end. I thought that was a little odd. So I think tonight, to what you're saying, I think he would lean a little more on some of the younger guys and guys like Larry Nance, who should feel a lot more fresh than Dame at 39, CJ at 35, 36, whatever it was. Those guys should be ready to go.
Real quick, Joey Puski said it's my birthday today, so everything go right. First of all, happy birthday, Joey. Appreciate
Happy birthday, Joey.
Listen, if everything goes right on your birthday, it's a damn good birthday. I had the Nick Stauskas game when his first game as a Trailblazer, when he went nuts against LeBron and the Lakers. That was my birthday present. So I figured that was kind of like the pinnacle of my birthday experience right there. Was Nick Stauskas going
LeBron, beat the Lakers, Nick Stauskas.
He had like 25 in that game. It was something absurd. It was the only time he touched the court the rest of the season. Yeah. We kind of got into what's to watch for. I got to grab the right graphic here. There it is. The really horrible title for this one, Sprague. Outlaw Burning Book. Huh? Booker? You like that?
Okay, yeah. I think you're playing on society and where we're at right now.
You like that?
Okay, all right. That's creative.
A little bit different. I went away from total alliteration. So I was going to say. I went outside my little box, went outside it just a little bit. But Book's averaging 24, 6, and 5. Pretty damn good numbers. But the Suns, I don't think, have blown anybody away because their net ratings across the board are middle of the pack. And I think this has
16th in both, right?
Yes.
Offense and defense.
And the funny thing is, in that regard, it's the same kind of thing where we're looking at the Blazers right now. Like somebody was saying, Yusuf Nurkic is like rated as one of the top defensive players on Raptor. Well, the next game he was off the top 20. He was number 1, and then he was outside the top 20. Yeah. It's because there's so much noise in a lot of the early season advanced numbers, particularly with teams like Portland and Phoenix, because they've had blowout games. And until you start getting more games within the standard margin of 5.5, 6 points, it won't really do anything until probably around game 40. So while there's the strands to pull on, it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's kind of hard to get a real feel for it. You start to kind of take the means. You start dropping off the highs and the lows to try to find that steady line. And when you do that, you look at the Suns, go, okay, they're killing from the mid-range, but they're really struggling from 3 as a team. Like you go up and down the list. Book shooting 36% on volume. Nobody else outside Mikal Bridges is shooting that on volume. Campaign's at 33%. Chris Paul's at 41%, but he's only taken 2 a game. That's what we were talking about last night with Chris Paul's shoulder. Ayton has kind of regressed as a shooter, and he's not really taking that many, and he's out. Jay Crowder is shooting 29%. So you're looking at this stuff and going, okay, so they're kind of kicking everybody's ass in an old school way in the sense of they're working in the mid-range hard. Yeah. Yeah. Which the Blazers have actually done. Okay, I've been playing hard on this defense. Maybe my wife will grab my dog. That'd be great.
That's okay. That's all right. Hey, the more the merrier on this pod.
But maybe the Blazers are doing a good job in one area, and that's funneling players away from the rim. Now, they may be doing it a little too preemptively, which is leading to those corner threes, which this same Suns team that struggled from 3 struggled to hit in their first matchup. But the Blazers are doing one thing very, very differently than they have in the past. They are deterring shots to the rim, and the shots they're getting up at the rim, they're defending very well. Like, so if you want to go, oh, the defense is getting this much better, it's not this much better, you can pull all that stuff away. The one thing you can look at right now and go, the Portland Trail Blazers defense is good at keeping shots away from the rim, and when they do get shots there, defending them. And that is a big, big thing as far as Yusuf Nurkic, Cody Zeller, Larry Nance Jr., Robert Covington. Yeah. And we talked about this a little bit last night, the physicality, the increased physicality in and around the rim, which Damian Lillard addressed post-game last night, is definitely leading to bigs being more physical around the rim and getting away with it. And I think that if you look at the chart in the NBA, teams that have bigs who are vertically gifted, athletically gifted, very strong, their defensive field goal percentages as a team around the rim are the best in the league. So when you're looking at how the Suns are hoping to attack or how the Blazers are hoping to deter the Suns, that's going to be a point of contention tonight outside of the three-point line. But they've also done a really good job keeping teams out of that mid-range and really cooking. So Book, who loves to get there, that's going to be an interesting chess match because this is not the Houston Rockets in the sense of it's not an analytically driven team. It's just rim three. They play in between a lot. Yep.
Well, or you could view this as the mid-range Suns, where it might fall into Portland's lap defensively tonight, but get a lot of wide open 3, and they change everything that they've been doing. I mean, so yesterday, Paul George walked by a whiteboard in the Clippers locker room. People focused in on it, said attack, Dame, CJ, and right?
Yeah, that definitely has to do with attacking the old coaching style. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was Doc going, hey, I still hate that guy. Attack the old coaching style and these three dudes. But with that comes some of the chaos that Portland creates for itself in those moments where it's scrambling, it's running around, it's not communicating, not rotating properly. And so even with teams like Phoenix, where they have the guys capable to make those shots, I know what you're telling me with the stats and what they've kind of been this year, and they're obviously now dealing with some pretty injuries, but they're going to get their looks. And I don't know if a team like Phoenix, as much as they've been relying on that inside game, more so than three ball, do you think they're going to pass those up? Because I think that's kind of what, if I'm a coach of another team, as dumb as I might be in those circles, I know that for certain. Like, Portland is going to overreact to a pump fake, or my guys are going to be able to get their backcourt a lot easier to create easier looks for my guys than what they've been getting in some of these other games.
Yeah, I hopped on with the Suns guys yesterday morning to kind of preview this game in Phoenix, and one of the things that I kind of said is this is a bit of an issue, is that Portland has been everybody's get right game.
That's yes. That's basically what I'm saying.
And if you're the Suns, remember, nobody really shot well for that Suns team in that first matchup. I do not expect that to happen tonight.
That game was over by the second quarter.
Yes, and I think a lot of that had to do with a third game in 4 nights, national TV game, leaving L.A. feeling good after just absolutely spanking the Lakers on national TV. I think you definitely hang up the mission accomplished, beat the hell out of the Laker banner, especially after if LeBron and AD were healthy in the playoffs. Those guys heard that stuff, as far as their playoff matchup last year. So they came in that game like, oh, you ready to go? Cool, we're going to go ahead and kick the ever-living hell out of you tonight, and we're going to go about our business because we don't care about Portland. From everybody I've talked to, that was very much the vibe coming out of Phoenix in that game. That doesn't take away from Portland. Portland taking care of business and a team that's disinterested is a good thing. Teams that take care of those teams, that's a good winning profile. That legitimately is. Teams that take care of teams they should, or they have rest advantages, or they have injury advantages, or any of those things, the teams that are more consistent in winning those games profile better long-term than the ones that vacillate up and down, kind of like Portland has been.
So will Dame's Phil Jackson approach to last night's postgame help him tonight, you think?
Depends. We've seen Trey kind of whine a little bit. We've seen Luka kind of whine a little bit. We've seen Harden.
James's free throws went up in, I think, the last 5
He
6
did.
games.
He had the 17 free throw game, and I think he had a 14 free throw game. So maybe. Here's the thing. Dame has never been the free throw grifter that those guys were. He's been a foul hunter. There is a difference between the two. You don't get the hook. You don't get the hard flop out of nowhere. Right. It was generate contact, then exaggerate. And that's not me saying, oh, Dame doesn't do that. No, he just does a different brand of it, and he didn't do it he wasn't hunting it vociferously every possession like Trey and James were. But on the flip side, Dame's got to be careful because, as we saw last night, him getting hit, he still needs to drive, and the way they're allowing contact at the rim right now, he's going to take some more shots and not get the free throws that he's used to getting. So that one's going to be a little bit interesting to see kind of how it plays out in the long term, right?
That's one of the biggest things that I've circled for this game, aside from just, hey, you're going against a good Western Conference team.
They took 12 free throws last night, Brandon.
They didn't get to the line at all. And by the way, did you see how quick that game went? It was glorious. Game was. We were
on like maybe 9 minutes after the game, I think, and it was like 9:15. I was like,
it was awesome.
How the hell are we on at 9:15 in a national TV game? It's like I don't remember this happening.
No, but I want to see what he looks like tonight. It's a back-to-back, and we both agree that he should be sitting for a game or 2 or 3 and
a week at least.
I mean, a week, sure. You could probably go longer and talk me into that, but we know that he does not want to do that. He's got to. And it's both a good and a bad thing, right? Like, most of the time I love it, but he's got a thing.
But when you're looking at this right now, when we're all looking at this and everybody but 3 people in this city are looking at it and going, oh, yeah, no, he's hurt. I'd
love to meet those 3 people and say, what do you think you think he's just grimacing to grimace? Do you think he's just holding his ribs because he likes doing that?
He's just a big fan of Old McDonald's ads.
He likes not getting lift when he tries to dunk the ball or shoot it from 28
not getting
feet.
lift at all. Yeah, it's
his misses are he's either overcompensating for the injury and he's back rimming, or he's front rimming because he can't quite get the lift. Like that's what we've been seeing.
So it's like I said last night. If the Toradol keeps working, great. But if that
it's working though, if he's playing like this?
I mean, the last 2 games he's like 26, 6-4. Like it's been closer to real Dame. Not it's a really good
Still not the
facsimile.
efficient Dame though.
No, it's a really good facsimile. Like it's a good player. There's no doubt about it. But it's not, oh my God, here is this offense unto itself that is going to break us and just bludgeon us with wave after wave after wave of backbreaking plays. Dame has had like maybe 2, 3 like real backbreaking, oh my God, are you kidding me type plays this year. He used to have that a game. And I'm not saying he used to. Is like he's washed, he's done. He's just not that dude right now. He physically he does not have it. I don't care what anybody else says. Love it, like it, leave it, Mr. Sprague. What do you have tonight for Blazers versus Suns?
Well, I'm actually we're probably going to have one similar one here, but my love it is going to be that. I want to see them. I really want to see them attack Phoenix. I do. I want to see them be aggressive. They have the players to be able to take advantage of this current situation that Phoenix is dealing with on their roster. So I'm going to go with that as my leave it. I want to see the perimeter guys that we've seen put the ball on the floor and not have a ton of turnovers. You know, I'll put Ant, Dame, CJ, Norm. Hell, I'll put Nas in this. Like, these guys can attack Phoenix tonight, put some real pressure, either get easy looks, put them in foul trouble, or create and make Phoenix be in scramble mode and kick out and try to get an open look.
My love it tonight is I am going to go with Norman Powell setting the tone again. I think he's been the guy because I want to see, like last night against the Clippers, I wanted to see them come out, and they came out and laid an egg in the first 5 minutes. And they just rolled over and showed their belly, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. How many times do you have to get you can't be counter-punching, you can't come out flat, you can't, like, and that's where, I think that's the biggest part of me. It's sitting here going, the bad vibes thing. Like, everybody knows what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. And
I think the team knows it too, which is making this more awkward.
Yes. And I think that's been the frustration. But Norm, you never have to pull his cord. You don't have to wind him up. He is, and I think if he just keeps doing it, maybe somebody else will join him. Just maybe somebody else will join the fold. I'm not optimistic.
Wouldn't last night have been that though? Because Norm was going off eventually after that slow start. And
again, I'm just hoping that maybe it's just something clicks. It's. I said it earlier. I feel like the team is waiting for the other shoe to drop. Whether that's with Olshey's investigation, whether it's with a player getting moved, it feels like everybody's waiting around for something to happen as opposed to going into the season. Like, everybody can talk about having 2 feet in, but anybody who's ever worked somewhere where everybody's just kind of like, I'm not sure. Like, is everything going to be okay next week? I don't know. It's not a thing like where everybody wants to kill each other, but guys are definitely on edge. I mean, we saw it over the last couple of nights with Nance chewing guys out and, Zeller chewing some guys out. And it's,
I had this at my job. I'd say like, God, it might've been 5 or 6 years ago now. One of our old bosses, and he was there for a long time. He was like one of the most well-liked guys. He was kind of controversial in today's workforce is how I would put who he was. But one day it just came in, and like, I came into the building, and I would say within a minute, Danny,
you could feel it.
You could just like go, whoa, something's not right here. And the first person I saw had like a blank look, and I go, dude, there's a weird vibe in here. What is this? And they were like, they fired so-and-so. And I was like, whoa. And this was like a high up person that nobody saw that coming. And my point is basically that, when things are awkward,
feel something's not right.
There's something not right. You can feel that. That's a real thing. So I wouldn't put it past the team to know what's going on, not only with the Neal stuff and knowing that he's probably gone, but you're also dealing with a roster that clearly needs to make a move and would benefit from making a move. And yet we're rolling the ball out every night with the same dudes.
Before I get into like it and leave it, I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments talking about Olshey and replacements and stuff like that. I'll just tell you guys right now, the names that I've heard are Danny Ainge, Dennis Lindsey, and Tayshaun Prince. So those are the names that I've heard. Chad Buchanan's name's in there, but he's obviously currently employed by the Pacers.
Do you think Ainge is a real guy, or is that like because he's from Eugene and he comes here all the time type of thing?
There's a vibe of the local because Danny, part of the reason he left Boston was the burnout and being out in Boston. Yeah. So, and I understand he's been back and forth between Utah and Oregon. We're doing some consulting work with the Jazz was the last that I heard, and I was checking in, was it August? Dennis Lindsey obviously departed the Jazz. They put a new GM in place there. Did a very, very good job building that Jazz team.
Yeah, he did.
And then Tayshaun Prince is a rapidly rising star. As far as the executive side, he's been working with the Memphis Grizzlies the last couple of years.
Who was his teamate when he played in the NBA?
Oh, that's right. It's Chauncey Billups, who has a 5-year contract that they want to have a good relationship between their coach and GM.
Huh. Chauncey Billups.
There you go. Just a little something that I'm throwing out there. What do you got for like it, buddy?
Anthony Simons, baby.
Ooh,
he shot horribly yesterday, but I still liked what I saw from him.
Getting to the right spots.
He's getting the right spots. I thought there was 1 3, and I can't remember what quarter it was. He shot 1 3 that kind of felt like he just rushed it and he missed it. But I thought for the most part he was really good. Had a couple good defensive possessions and one-on-one. And I think tonight he's going to respond. You mentioned it earlier. He doesn't really have so far in the early season, there's no track record of let down. Oh, good game. It is let down, good game, let down. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna track the history of that. I'll take Anthony Simons tonight.
I think last night was his worst game of the season, even though he had the monster dunk, which made kind of covered up everything else. It was his least impactful game. I think that's probably the way that I would put it.
What was his other bad game again? What was the other one? It was.
Was it Memphis?
Didn't he have like a 1 for 7 night? I think it may.
I think it was the Memphis game. Okay. That he was one of those situations where he still found ways to get involved. Last night, I think he couldn't find his spot because the starters played so many heavy minutes, because the shot distribution was so heavy on that group. I don't think he was able to kind of ramp up like he normally I think he's a bit like Dame, and where he kind of like, okay, let me kind of pick my spots here. And then once he gets on a heater, it's just flamethrower for 10 straight minutes. And then, all right, let me pick my spots again, then flamethrower again. That's just kind of how he plays. I would like to see that. I would like to see him get out there and be significantly more aggressive in that regard. For me, my like it is it's going to be get after it defensively. For the love of God, be physical. I'm just going to keep saying it. This is kind of like my Anthony Simons thing. Like I just had him as my like it or love it for the first 8 games of the season. I should have just been saying, just be better at the point of attack. Be better at the point of attack. Like I would rather see Dame, CJ, Ant, Norm get in foul trouble than the just red carpet that they're rolling out right now. I've seen some people say that CJ McCollum is playing better defensively this year. He is not. He is not playing better defensively. He is getting more steals. He is getting chased down blocks. He is getting cooked, flambéed, roasted, fricasseed, boiled, baked, however you want to put it. Him and Dame are cooked on the perimeter. And that is translating very much so in how the defense is breaking down in the very, very simple and fundamental ways of helping too early, because everybody knows they're just Olay Matador defense at the point of attack. Grab somebody. I don't care. Slow somebody down. Hit them with a chicken wing. Give me something. Compete at the point of attack, for the love of God. That is my like it tonight. And tonight's going to be harder than anything because it's on a back-to-back. So after playing heavy minutes, for Dame, he upset his abdominal again. So it's just, but that's my like it. I want to see them figure something out there, even if it's not great. Muck it up, ugly it up, figure something out.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to do that 35 more times this season because they're not going to change. But all right, that's a good one. Like it. I like that.
Bam, bam, face through the mic.
I was going to do, for my leave it, I was actually going to do the exact same thing I did yesterday. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done saying, hey, leave the bad perimeter defense. That's kind of who they're going to be. I've accepted
just
that.
Funk, fire it off into the sun.
That's basically what it is. Yeah. I'm going to go leave it. Specifically one player, though, for defense, Robert Covington. Can we please hit our 3-point shots tonight that get created by these other guards?
Yeah.
And can you please, for the love of God, help set the tone that Danny's looking for? I think you're going to always be limited with that backcourt defensively together. Mm-hmm. but I do think certain guys on this team, they can balance this out a little bit. They can be a little better, right? Like that. It's not a coincidence that when Nurk got traded here, they had that same backcourt, and their group went from like mid-20s to 10th. That wasn't because Dame and CJ were suddenly amazing defenders. It was because you had somebody single-handedly lift the group, protect the paint, and make life difficult.
You had a 7 foot, 330-pound dude mauling people inside the paint.
It was unreal. Yeah. And so I think they can get back and be a more consistent group, but they're going to need their real defensive horses to lock in and be ready to go, because we know those other two.
I don't know what.
Oh, we're off YouTube. We're off YouTube.
No, we're good. I don't know. I guess the stream froze for some kind of. Apparently we're back up, but
okay.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I think that's just a YouTube thing. But if you look at points per possession overall, the Blazers are at 113.1 as far as their non-garbage time points per possession. That's their points per 100 possessions. But their points per play. So the league average is 91.8, or if per 100, you're saying 0.918 points per possession, which that's not bad. That's like if you're an offensive player averaging 0.918 points per possession in anything, you're above average. You're doing pretty good. But for the Trailblazers, they are 6th in the NBA in points per play at 96.4. If you're 95 or above, you're doing good. You're in the upper echelon. The Warriors right now are 102.3. They are terrifying. And
God, they're so good.
I don't normally do my victory laps this hard, but bleepity bleep 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 to the person who told me that the freaking Golden State Warriors weren't going to be a playoff team, that they needed another All-Star just to squeak in. Good Lord, what on earth were you thinking?
I'm going to win my over bet on them.
Yeah, that's a safe one. Barring any injuries, they're gonna kill it.
Steph's going for that MVP. That's for damn sure.
But here's the other thing.
Yeah.
The Blazers are playing, God dang it, percent of plays. The Blazers are playing the 5th most in the half court. Meaning they're
5th most.
They're the 5th most plays. So almost 82%, 81.6% of their plays are coming in the half court. And all of this is like, hey, CJ has kind of struggled, Dame has kind of struggled, and they're still scoring that well in the half court, which is really impressive. So the whole idea of being more efficient with your getting lesser and lesser opportunities, I love the whole, they're going to run more. They did it for 4 games. That's very, very
Can we stop doing this? We do this every year.
No, it's a new coach, Sprague. It's a new coach. They're going to figure it out.
LeBron in year 17, he's going to run more than he's ever run before.
No, he's not. He's going to slow it down. And he's going to,
yeah.
Year 19, he's going to slow it down and freaking go grind possessions into a halt. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, for me, again, that was a long roundabout way of kind of framing where the Blazers are right now to say, I want to get away from the more greedy play that comes along with some of the transition stuff I've seen. So,
yeah.
So people are saying, so they should get out and run more? No, they're not good at it. Dame's in the 4th percentile, CJ's in the 10th percentile. If those two guys are on the break and not taking threes, I'm going to be very, very, very irritated. So let's get on to the gambling side of this there, Sprague, and then let's get out of here and go watch this game. The local app at
okay.
last.
It's very nice of you to use the local app.
The local app is the Suns are favored by 5.
Yeah.
And 225 for the points.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Minus
I could
210 on the Suns straight up.
It's minus 210 straight up.
Straight up.
That's not great. It's not the worst though. Could be worse.
Blazers are plus 175, so they're getting you a little bit of a hook.
Yeah. I was one that thought they'd go 3-1 on this trip. Last night changed my mind. This is the back-to-back. Dame is still hurt, and you kicked Phoenix's ass. I think they take that stuff personal. I will take the Suns minus the 5. That is a kind of big number in the NBA, and I'm going to take the slight over. I think this is going to come in right at 226 or 227, so I'll take the over.
I really want to push for the over here, but it is a back-to-back.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Ant's going to score more. Nas is going to score more. CJ will shoot slightly better, and Cove will hit his shots. And if they hit the under, it's all your fault.
Well, you know that no, they're not going to hit the over or the under. You know why, Brandon?
Why?
Because I'm going to bet on the over.
Yeah. Yes.
I sent you the receipts earlier. I told you it's.
I know. More points, baby.
It has worked out for me more often than not this year.
I think it was 4 of your last 5 bets on the over have hit. Like when you get that kind of run, you got to keep putting the money on.
You just kind of got to go. All right. Let me go ahead and click finding your location, retain selections, bet accepted. All right. So
there we go.
Of course, the local app. PM asks, is Chris Paul playing? If he's playing, give me the under. I think Chris Paul was a little bit broken in that first matchup, and I still think he is a little bit, but also the flip side is I think he's figured out, I'm not really shooting threes right now. I don't have the legs for it. But what I can do is dribble people into oblivion.
Carve you up.
I expect the jail dribble to happen quite a bit tonight and the snake dribble off the screens and put people in a very, very strange position. Brendan Dunbar, hey Sprague, over under Nance, DDT, Bronco Busters, CJ, after CJ hides on defense for the 5th possession in a row. Come on, Danny, ask it. Listen, I'm the one who's been preaching this to Sprague that Larry Nance Jr. is going to kill somebody on this team.
All right, so over under, I will say in the next 22 games, taking the over, the under.
Oh, under. If they continue playing the way that they're playing, absolutely.
If he keeps not getting the minutes,
that's going to exacerbate things.
Woo, it's going to make things so much worse.
He left the Cavs to chase playing with a better team.
Well, somebody should have warned him because they didn't make any moves outside of him. So I would have been like, And
it wasn't like they got him in like free agency, right? Like they didn't get him in free agency, so they couldn't be like, hey, come here, we'll guarantee you these minutes. It was, hey, let's make a trade for a guy let's move Derrick Jones Jr., who we're not playing. And by the way, is actually helping in Chicago right now, and he's doing much better. It's kind of hilarious when you think about it. But instead, we'll bring in this guy who should be able to help us. And instead hasn't been on the floor and hasn't been able to find really any kind of rhythm. And this is part of the problem when you have an unbalanced roster and you have to shoehorn guys into other spots. And you've made, and this is me tying the bow on what I leaked here in the beginning, which is Chauncey made a lot of promises to a lot of people. Larry Nance Jr. was not on that list. You've got Ant. You've got Nurk, you've got Cove, you've got Nas, you've got Norm. That's 5 dudes who you have to take care of before you ever get to Larry Nance Jr. And I feel like that is going to be a mistake for the Blazers if they don't find a way to help him get on the floor, because of all of the guys that they brought in this season, he is the one outside of Norm that I feel can and should be the most impactful. He should, and not in the box score, but just helping everybody else. He just makes it easier on, and he should make it easier on everybody else because he's got a high IQ, he's got good size, he can kind of tick all of the boxes for you, and it's frustrating watching him only play 9 minutes.
Yeah, I mean it's inexcusable.
Yeah, I think that's the first real WTF, Chauncey. What I asked around if there was a secret minutes restriction on him, and everybody said, not that I know of.
Yeah, I almost wanted to tweet. Did I miss the injury report with Larry today? Because he's not playing at all. What is that?
Yeah, so, and that does happen, whether teams want to admit it or not on as far as injury reports go. There are guys that don't make injury reports that have minute restrictions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Happens very, very often. But we'll go ahead and get out of here on that. We went a little bit long. Sorry for the stream going out, guys. I don't know what happened. It kept up live on the network feed, so hopefully I'll take a look at it after we stop the stream here and see if anything pops up as far as what caused an issue. But be forewarned, if this storm hits, I'm about 1,000 feet from the river. I'll let you guys know if we don't do a post game, but it is supposed to drop 2.5 inches here tonight. So
we got a storm coming?
Oh yeah, you're in the valley too, so you might want to check and see where you are.
I live right next to power breakers, and they go out all the time, so I can't wait to not have electricity.
Yeah, so if you don't, go ahead and give me a text.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I don't have any power. Damn it.
But hey, guys, get ready for this game. Hopefully the Blazers can get their first freaking road win of the season almost a month in. We will be back for the postgame barring, crazy
barring
weather.
God.
Somebody says Danny's underwater. Yeah, no, seriously, guys, the river is like right there. So I actually did I had to check floodplain. How high does that water typically go? We're good. Okay, no, we're good. I bought property. This will turn into beachfront property when the apocalyptic flood comes. I did
flood
it right.
Insurance check. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh you
check,
kidding me? Yeah. No, it was a mandatory. So but out of here, guys. We'll have you guys on the postgame show. Remember, like, rate, review, subscribe, do all the things for the Jacked Ramsays podcast. Thank you all so much, so very much. Again, I'm trying not to stumble over my words right now. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the show. If you made it this far, please subscribe to the show. Every one of these shows, I know I say this all the time. Each one of them is growing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 viewers every show. The first pregame show we did. I think we had like 45 people, and now we're up to about 140 across.
Let's go.
YouTube and Twitch.
We love having you guys, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very cool, and watching this grow has just been absolutely awesome. Taking the under on Danny's house post game. Wow, that's cold blooded.
Jeez Louise, man.
That's good. Listen, that made me laugh. So I'll take that. Aqua Dan. Okay. Listen.
Aqua Dan. I like that nickname.
Listen, man. This is what I'm here for. Let's have a little bit of fun because this team hasn't been as fun as I'd like it to be this year. So we will have you guys for the post game show. Thank you all so very much. Talk to you all soon and take care. And let's hopefully, for the love of God, give us a win to talk about in the post game.